Hello, everyone. This is another Black Conservative. I am Ryan Bowling. Thank you all for joining me. One of the things that frustrates me the most is when you have leaders in positions of power and authority that talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. They don't stand on what they believe in. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about these spineless Republicans that are whining and boo-hooing about losing the midterms in 2022 in November. And they're conceding, if you will. It's like they're backing down, and it makes me so angry and frustrated. But I'm not going to get into the details of this until I've read this article. So let's go to Red. I'm going to be reading an article from Red State. This is an opinion piece. So this is the opinion of the individual writer of this article. But then I'm going to give my opinion after I've completed reading this. And the title of the article is Republican Establishment Already Looking to Give Up on the Midterms. Now, this can be disheartening to a lot of people, but it is what it is. Let's look at this. It says, stop me if you heard the story before. Republican establishment figures. That's the key word there. Establishment figures. Okay. Don't get their way in a primary and promptly run to the liberal media to express how winnable races will now be lost, costing the GOP an electoral victory. You've almost certainly heard it before because it's exactly what happened in 2016 as the consultant class rushed to proclaim that Donald Trump simply couldn't beat Hillary Clinton. He wasn't going to just lose. He was going to be crushed, they said. Of course, he did win, going on to appoint 3 Supreme Court justices, thank God, that recently delivered a multitude of long-sought decisions, including the overturning of Roe v. Wade. No lessons were learned, though. The same establishment of Republican leadership, consultants, and pollsters are already looking to throw in the towel on November's midterms. And to make matters more absurd, they told this story to Axios, a liberal rag. And I guess this is one of the tweets of this particular liberal group. Top Republicans once confident about winning control of the Senate in the midterms fear they'll blow it after nominating several deeply flawed candidates in winnable states, and according to conversations with strategists, pollsters, and strategists and lawmakers. Top Republicans, once confident about winning control of the Senate in the midterms, feel they'll blow it after nominating several deeply flawed candidates in winnable states. Oh, I've already read that. My mistake. Okay, so I'm going to read the last portion of this, and I'm going to give you my opinion. It's all just so tiring. I understand the notion that GOP primary voters didn't select the best candidates, and some of Donald Trump's endorsements were selfish and moronic. Okay, he's giving this, like I said, it's an opinion piece. Still, the situation is what it is. This is not the time to run to the liberal media to express frustrations, signaling weakness. I totally agree. It's time to buck up, take the reins of the horse you've got, and do what it takes to win. Now, I'm just going to end that article there. Reading of that article there, that opinion piece. But I totally agree. Now, let me explain something here about myself. Some people may interpret, whether they voice it or not, that because I'm a conservative, that I'm pro-Republican. Any Republican runs, I'm all rah for them. No. I am a conservative because the conservative worldview is similar, or if not the same as the Christian worldview, which I am of. I am a Christian and who believe the Bible is the word of God. The conservative worldview is basically the same as the Christian worldview. So that's one of the reasons why I'm conservative, okay? The other reason why I'm conservative is because of the fact that I personally believe that many, if not most of all of the conservative worldview points are what's more beneficial to the country rather than the liberal points, okay? So, but because I'm a conservative doesn't mean that I agree with everything that Republicans do. I do not. Conservatism is more or less, as one person said, a way of life. Republicans has to do with politics. So just because a person is a Republican, claiming to be a Republican, don't mean I'm going to vote for him. Okay. I didn't become politically involved until 2016 when Donald Trump was in office. Okay. And when he first became president. And then I began to become politically aware because I was hearing people saying things about the Democrats that I had never heard before. And I said, this is heavy. This is some heavy stuff right here. So I decided to research and do a little digging myself and found out that it was a Democratic Party. That was the original party that supported slavery and the Jim Crow laws. They created the Jim Crow laws and they created the KKK and all this other stuff. You know the story. So then I started saying, wait a minute. Wait just a minute here. I've been duped. I've been hoodwinked. I've been led astray, So I decided to change my course. And that's what I ended up doing. So, but it wasn't a matter of, okay, I'm going to be a Republican now. I'm going to change over to Republican. No, I don't agree with everything they say. And when I did my research, I found out that people like George Bush he was a Republican, but many of his policies didn't line up with the Republican or rather conservative point of view. Many of his policies, what I found out, were based on socialism, which is something many Democrats want. So is that really what we need? Stuff like that. That's the stuff that disturbs me. So let me end this video on this note. There's still hope. Those of us who have YouTube channels, those of us who voice our opinions on Facebook and social media, we are the voices that the people need to hear and that the establishment wants to shut down. That's why they want to shut us down. Because on this note, when that writer in that article talked about establishment Republicans, he was simply referring to Republicans who are paid for and controlled, just like the Democrats. These Republicans are paid for and controlled by the international banking families or the corporations that finance their campaigns, and the corporations are owned by the international banking families. And the international banking families want a global government. So whether that person is the Republican or Democrat, if someone gets in that office, some populist individual tries to push to run to be become the president or the governor or whatever, if you go against their globalist agenda, they're going to try to put you out. By the grace of God, Trump, at this point that I'm still understanding, Trump was able to he was able to win. He was able to win because he was saying things that the people really needed to hear and not this fake stuff that was being pushed out there. So I just want to end it on that note. I'm not a Republican. Technically speaking, right now, I'm still a registered Democrat because I haven't been able to, for whatever reason, to switch over. I've been trying to do that, but there's whatever reason I can't seem to get to it. But I am conservative in my lifestyle. Okay, so I just wanted to say that. What do you guys think about this? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel. God bless you all, and see you again on another Black Conservative.